Thank you for staying with us. Welcome back. You're watching Daybreak, and it's time to take a look at what's making the headlines on the papers from around the world this morning. As ever, we'll begin with our sister publication This Day, and it's leading with a directive from the NEC to governors in Nigeria to prosecute indicted person. Hashtag NSAS, it says on its boldest headline. The riders this morning, protesters hold car procession at Lekki toll gate, demand justice, say brutality continues. Police disrupts march to National Assembly. We did not stop demonstrators, Lagos insists. And Okowa inaugurates Human Rights Prosecution Committee. That's the governor of Delta State, South Nigeria. Social cultural group Afenifere challenges federal government to fulfill promises. And above the nameplate this morning, security trade take center. Stage in Nigeria-Turkey agreement. We've been reporting on that visit by the Turkish president, right? Tayyip Erdogan to Nigeria. The front page of This Day this morning.
And for that, let's run through the Punch newspaper. Hashtag NSAS panel compensation. Lagos pays 420 million naira. NBA faults Akwa Ibom, Ogun, Oyo, Benue for shunning payments. And right below that, we see pictures of protesters commemorating yesterday. Victims' families demand 4.5 billion naira as customs deny Oyo killings. Still in the Punch newspaper, power producers lose 1.66 trillion naira over non-payment for unused power. Terrorists who try to overthrow me are in Nigeria. Words of the Turkish president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who's been visiting Nigeria, has been meeting with the president. And finally, from the Punch newspaper, bandits allegedly kidnap over 30 travelers, steal cows in Niger State. That's on page 4 and 5 of the Punch.
Moving on to the Nation newspaper this morning, also leading with the NSAS protests. Government says psychiatric drug test mandatory for security men. Minister lists hashtag NSAS response measures. Protests all over the country in Lagos, FCT, Ibadan, Osogbo, Benin, Jos, Akure, Enugu, Ilorin. Other headlines here on the Nation's newspaper. CBN targets 75,000 yearly jobs for young graduates. Also, guidelines for 5 million naira to 25 million naira loan outs. More headlines here on the Nation newspaper. Anambra 2021. Ozigbo says, I won't discriminate. Anambra Central to vote for APC, and the physically challenged loud INEC's special attention. Another headline here on the Nation newspaper. Nigeria, Turkey sign pact on mining, defense, and others. That's the Nation's newspaper this morning.
Well, let's take a quick run through the international papers this morning. The Guardian leads with a quote from the Health Minister, Sajid Javid, and he's warning that MPs should lead by example as daily infections rise in the country.
This one is the Guardian Nigeria. Arrests, police brutality headline. Hashtag NSAS memorial in Lagos, Abuja. Turkey coup plotters still active in Nigeria. Erdogan warns President Buhari. And an editorial from the Guardian newspaper right there at the top. Federalism is the answer after all.
All right, now moving on to the press review. Emmanuel Bello joins us now from our offsite studio. Emmanuel, good morning. Good to have you this morning. Now, well, let's begin with This Day newspaper. As usual, almost all Nigerian dailies are leading with this. The NSAS protests yesterday commemorating the 1-year anniversary of October 2020 last year. Protesters were holding car processions at the Lekki toll gate. There were protests here in Abuja, protests in Benin, everywhere. And this really hit close to home because even our own colleagues here at Arise News were harassed while doing their job, while showing the world what is happening right here in Nigeria, Emmanuel.
Yeah, and it's an unfortunate clip where everyone was watching it play out, and it's a good thing that we stayed on it for a very long time. Many people were horrified by that show of force by the police and our colleague who was pushed here and there. It's all part of the reports that were coming out from the NSAS protest or memorial protest yesterday, and I think that it's well covered. All the networks were glued to it, and the newspapers too reporting it. And but a lot of people, some people are divided on the matters. There are people who say, like the U.S. government even coming out to say negotiations, the protesters should work closely with the leaders. Earlier in the week, the governor of Lagos State tried his best to say, well, we can reason this beyond the protest. But of course, all over the world and in democracies, I think protests are a way of people airing their grievances, and that right must be respected all over the world. And we're not an island, so that will be respected. The security forces, sometimes escalate these matters in the way they go about what they're doing, which is why I think someone somewhere in one of the reports today is suggesting that security men should actually go for some form of psychiatric test before admitting. Maybe we're coming back to that story because I think that's a very, very important thing to look at. But the memorial protest took place, and again, they came with all the drama that we are all covered in the media. I think it's a wake-up call. I think, like the editorial of Guardian yesterday put it, that the authorities should have learned something from last year's events, and probably they should have answered some of those calls and do something very serious about it to forestall any of these protests. The protesters are just calling for just the basic things, good governance. Beyond that, it's really nothing else. Of course, sadly, sometimes it gets hijacked, it goes out of the way, and then becomes what
well, indeed, Emmanuel,
some of the ugly things we see.
Yes, if you can hear me, I mean, psychiatric evaluation for police officers was actually one of the demands by the protesters last year. But why do you think it's so difficult to get, alien police officers who have brutalized young Nigerians? Why do you think it's so difficult to get them prosecuted? Because that is what the NEC is now directing governors to do. That is what Afenifere is calling for. And to say, you could have given, yes, you have given out compensation, yes, you've set up panels, but we don't see anybody getting punished for all of this brutality. Why is it so difficult, Emmanuel?
Yeah, I think it's also because of the institutional crisis within the endemic institutional crisis within policing generally, and even the issue of security in the country. It's not just a one-off thing. These are very serious issues, and it's not just a one-off thing with the NSAS protesters. You see, there was a clip the other day of a policeman brutalizing a citizen. I mean, thank God, I think that was somewhere in Kogi State. It's heartwarming to hear the police commissioner of that state saying that, look, we have apprehended this person. I think I was even thinking that citizens should do more of what we saw that day. People clearly filming these officers misbehaving, and the authorities trying to bring them to some form of justice. We must see more of that beyond the mental evaluations, psychiatric evaluations that the government is being asked to do. I think those things are very, very important, and that Nigerians should be also part and parcel of the process of trying to reform the police. And we have cases of police brutality, and it's not just secluded to our country. We just saw a celebrated case in the UK the other day. But I think citizens play a very good role here, apart from government. We need to be very, very wary of erring policemen, ensure that we confront them. It's not easy confronting a man with a gun, but a citizen can actually do his best. Some filming of those things, those events do help. And then we ensure that we follow it up. The policeman is brought to book, is brought to justice, and will make a lot of noise about it. I think these are ways that we can actually also support government in this level. But of course,
sorry, before you go, Kenneth,
okay.
I'd disagree with you on the filming aspect, saying that filming actually deters these police officers or these security forces, because what we saw yesterday or even last year, they are so bold even in the face of everyone filming, TV stations filming, journalists filming, civilians filming, they keep doing. We had, even in that report, the Uber driver that they were trying to put in the van, they were boldly spraying tear gas in his eyes, beating him up. So that more needs to be done, definitely. More than filming. Civilians cannot put their lives at risk arguing with policemen who are not trained properly. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I totally agree too with you. I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying that we must, you know, there needs to be that push also by the public, and we're doing a lot of that. Of course, we need, like I said, part of it is the institutional crisis of policing, not just in Nigeria, but around the world. The police have always had problems. Maybe we have a bigger issue of it, and everyone should be worried. The other day I was thinking that maybe everybody should start a police watch network where we can actually do local reporting of some of the brutality. A lot of people just keep quiet about it. Some network actually just make it an issue, you know. But we have to keep on it, keep doing this. We have to keep filming. We have to keep protesting. We have to keep talking about it. I'm just saying that there's a role also we play. Of course, government too has been told, even from the recruitment exercise, because I think that some of these men actually have some, I'm sorry to say, some of them have real clear case psychiatric conditions, and that is not well checked. You need to look at how the police are also recruited. What is the recruitment method? What's happening there? Do they really get checked, or is this just job for anyone? Some of them are, you know, I'm told that sometimes even hardened criminals, you know, just get their way into the force. So the police itself, the service commission, the police authorities need to do that. But then citizens' roles too in trying to protect what we're talking about must be emphasized.
Okay. Let's see if all these questions will have answers in the future. A quick look at the Punch newspaper. Power producers lose 1.66 trillion naira over non-payment for unused power. Emmanuel, you want to talk to us about this?
Well, again, the issue of power is taking center stage, you know, in a report, and I think, like we keep saying, it's a recurring crisis. If we don't get the light right, if we don't get power right, we're not going to get a whole lot of things right in this country. In this country. And so something has to be done about it. And if the more reporting we do around the power, the issue of power, the issue of energy, it's very important. I'm passionate about this because, I mean, what can people do without some basic electricity? So, and there are people who say that you can actually gauge the development of a country clearly by the kind of electricity or the kind of energy it gets. So we must just get our power, must get energy right in this country, or else with the issues that we're even protesting against, maybe will persist. If you don't have electricity, if you don't have power, if you don't have energy, the problem of development will continue to, the crisis of development will continue to deepen.
Well, that's it for the press review this morning. Thank you so much, Emmanuel Bello, for joining us.